My name's Karen Piper. I'm a professor at the University of Missouri in Columbia in the English department, and I teach post-colonial literature and globalization.
Why were you in Pittsburgh?
I was in Pittsburgh that year as a visiting research professor for Carnegie Mellon University. I was working on a book on globalization and water issues.
And why did you go to the protest?
I went to the protests that day because I had just come into town and I had heard about this G20 and people seemed to have a lot to say about it. And I'd been writing in my book about similar protests taking place around the world, and part of my book looks at how effective they are in actually changing policy or decisions that are made at the meetings. So I went down there to try to get some pictures I thought I might be able to use for my book and to look at some of the rhetoric on the signs.
What happened that day?
So I went down to a protest at Arsenal Park, and I just stopped to look at some of the signs, and I saw a crowd milling around very peacefully, and there were a lot of police officers lined up facing the entrance to the park. Ended up getting zapped, I guess you would say, by this LRAD device, or people were calling it a sonic cannon at the time. And when that happened, it was almost like you could feel the sound going through you, and I immediately felt pain in my ears, and I ran away because that's the first instinct, and then I just felt dizzy and nauseous. I felt this horrible headache, and my ears were just, one of my ears was worse than the other, and there was fluid coming from it, I noticed. And so I sat down and felt like I couldn't breathe or catch my breath, and I just sat there for, I'm not sure how long, until I started to feel better.
How did you feel?
I was very scared, and I thought something might be really wrong with me. I was afraid, I didn't know if it was going to kill me or what, if I was having an aneurysm or what was going on. After a while, I felt very angry that this had happened to me, because I had just been there as a resident of Pittsburgh looking at what had happened, and I wasn't doing anything wrong as far as I thought, and I received no warning that this was going to happen. I didn't even see the machine coming when the sound went off because it was behind some people.
Why are you filing a federal lawsuit?
Well, I'm filing a federal lawsuit because I don't want this to happen to anyone else. That was my initial reaction. I looked up, these LRAD devices online afterwards and found out they're meant to be used in wartime situations, and I don't think they should be used against innocent citizens walking down the street, and this can cause permanent hearing damage to anybody that it's used on.